3 joint replacements before I turned 50. And no one warned me about this part of recovery. Now, I don't have a medical degree, and I'm definitely not a physical therapist. I'm just a woman who's been through 3 joint replacements. 2 of those are knees. So in this video, you are gonna learn about the emotional roller coaster that nobody prepares you for. Why comparing yourself to other patients is probably the worst thing that you can do. What I wish I knew about pain, especially how post-op pain and pre-op pain are both apples to oranges, why sticking to your pain management plan is non-negotiable. And finally, the one thing that I did different between knee number 1 and knee number 2 that changed everything for my recovery. So let's talk about that emotional roller coaster that nobody prepares you for. There's a lot of stuff going on post-op. You're not going to work and you're not running errands. You're not seeing the friends that you used to see before. Pull that together with the fact that your sleep is disrupted. Your eating is super inconsistent. You're probably not getting the nutrients that you should be getting. And your body is in pain, or at the very least, uncomfortable. And that all weighs super heavy on your spirit. You're watching friends literally live their best life while you are stuck at home. And that isolation can hit you hard all at one time, especially when that initial help fades. But let me tell you something, this is a season. Look, I remember when my husband had to go back to work, I was so blessed to have him home for 6 weeks after my knee replacement. But then he had to go back to work, and I was stuck at home with Netflix and my thoughts. And that just about rattled me because all of my friends were at work, including him. So I wasn't doing the things that I did. And it's easy to spiral there. But I remembered that this is just a season. It's not forever, it's just for now. I was just in the healing space. Why comparing yourself to other patients is gonna steal your sanity? Here's the thing that I learned, okay? Their circumstances are completely different than yours. You do not have the same cells. You do not have the same blood vessels, the same DNA. You don't have the same strength. Everything about you is different from them. They could have been hyper fit. You could have been less mobile. They could have been very flexible. Everything is based on flexibility, mobility, your current fitness levels, what you were before you had your surgery and what you are after your surgery, and your pain tolerance. Everything is very different between you and your neighbor. And you have to understand that everybody's recovery is based on their lifestyle, their past injuries, their strength, and even your mindset. So what helped me was stopping the scroll sometimes and not measuring myself by their standards. It actually helped me to be at peace, understanding that my body was healing in its own time. Now we're moving into what I wish I would have known about pain. Pre-op pain and post-op pain are apples to oranges. You literally cannot compare the two. Your pre-op pain will build over time. For me, it was years, and mine got so bad I couldn't even step up a curb without being in a lot of pain before my knee surgery. But let me tell you something, friend. The moment I put weight on that leg after surgery, that pain vanished. I've never felt that pain again. That same pain that was plaguing me for 3 years before I had my knee replacement, it was gone. Your post-op pain is a little sharp, dull, like it can come and go. The point of this is to really understand that your pre-op pain is degenerating pain. That is a different pain than your post-op pain, which is healing pain. So degenerating pain just continues to get worse until you get it done, whereas healing pain actually continues to get better until it's completely healed. And here's why sticking to your pain management plan is non-negotiable. Because pain relief is actually essential so that you can get to rehab and start doing physical therapy. Letting your pain get out of control makes it super hard to move, and movement is the key to healing. Pain management includes medication, but it also includes icing and elevating, movement, and rest. That rest is so important to manage your pain, and being proactive at pain doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you addicted to anything. It makes you smart because you're actually supporting your body's pain. And if I can say anything about pain management is know what you're in for before you go to the hospital. Before you actually have that surgery, know what your surgeon is going to prescribe for you and the regularity of which he's going to do that. Because I am not kidding you, I hear too many horror stories about people not getting their pain meds in time, and they get behind that pain, and that's never a good idea. I made it a point to have my husband ask the nurse when my last pain medicine was administered at the hospital, because then I could start the timer for when the next one should be. I never wanted to get behind that pain. And I was able to take an over-the-counter medicine in between my opioid. I didn't know that for the first one. The second one I did. So included in my list of questions to ask your doctor is to know your pain management. And that list of questions to ask your doctor is in the description. So go ahead and grab that after you've done with this video. And the one thing that I did different that sped up my healing between knee number 1 and knee number 2 was prehab. Strengthening those muscles before surgery changes the game on how well you're going to recover. The first time around, I believe that there was not one thing that I could do as far as strengthening my knee. I was in a lot of pain and I didn't think there was anything that I could do. And I was wrong about that. I honestly could have done quad contractions. Your 3 main muscle groups after surgery are going to be your quad, your hamstring, and your glutes. So whatever you can do to help yourself out, it's good. Sit at 90 degrees with your feet flat on the floor and just push your heel of your surgical leg into the ground. You're actually exercising that quad. So that it doesn't take much. And those little things that you can do will add up into big wins. Even small steps to strengthen your body before surgery makes a massive difference. I talk about 1% shifts all the time, and that is definitely one of them. And look, friends, I am not a medical expert. I am just a woman who's lived through this more than once, and I've come out stronger because of how I approached it. And I approached it different. And how I coach my clients is the same. Own your mind and you're going to own your recovery. So if you're navigating a knee replacement, you don't need more fear and you don't need doom scrolling at 2 a.m. You need someone to tell you the truth and remind you of what's still possible. So if this helped you be a little bit more prepared and a little more grounded, hit that subscribe button. And I'm going to be here with real talk, mindset shifts, and practical support to help you level up. And don't forget to check those links in the description because I've got more tools to help you feel less alone through your recovery.